Goldman Sachs is a preeminent investment bank, and Morgan Stanley is a software house masquerading as an investment bank. It IPO'd Netscape, Google, invented algo trading, Mary Meeker, of course, the analyst discovered Microsoft. So a lot of technology, big technology spend. We were working there. The three founders of the company actually came from Morgan Stanley. And there was a lot of investment in mobile engineering. I'm not sure if I was CEO, I would have done the same investment. But we took advantage of it, had a lot of fun. And we saw transitions taking place within the mobile industry from BlackBerry to these rather exciting, richer operating systems, and decided rather than giving our IP away to Google and Apple, we would actually jump ship and do this ourselves. We had a competitive advantage that we'd worked on the buy side within the enterprise, and therefore decided to do an enterprise software company. I come from a military family, naval father, his grandfather, great-grandfather, and it was sort of very much join the Navy, see the world. And I think that one can contest that. And you at KPMG spent 3.5 years just now in Hong Kong, and I think you can say sort of join an investment bank or a large consultancy firm and see the world too. So very, very global. And my two co-founders, both Morgan Stanley, were in New York, London, and one in actually the Valley, now in Hong Kong. So to answer your question, when we transitioned from being global, of the three founders, three continents from the very beginning. And it is very much, as you say, a part of the story that we have. In fact, Rebecca, I saw her last couple of weeks ago in Hong Kong. We're actually in New York together the other day, and now in London. So a lot of travel and an interesting global perspective. And that gives us a perspective also on the tech scenes within each. And of course, one has to be in the Valley. But of the most significant region, the most significant region of those three is without a doubt Hong Kong, Asia.
So you mentioned working inside of a big organisation. So for me, if I need to find out something about China or we want to do some business there, I can pick up the phone. But when you're starting a business from London or New York or the Valley, it must seem like a long way away. It must seem like a big place. How do you balance that?
In terms of how do we communicate with amongst
how do you go about finding clients there? How do you set up operations there? What kind of challenges did you face?
Internally, what we do in order to communicate with one another, and so my co-founder CEO, Andrew's in New York, and CTO, co-founder, is in Hong Kong. What we decided to do was have children the same month we founded the company. And as a result of doing so, you're up 24/7 anyway. So that helps. I think that one just gets used to it, and over the years we've been working together and been friends for a decade or so. But the challenge is, of course, we're growing, we're 2.5, 3 years old now, and we've grown to 80 people. And the challenge is that whilst we're very used to working with one another, the company is not necessarily. So we do actually forcibly encourage it. We use necessary collaboration platforms, be it Yammer and HipChat and obviously some message, etc. But I will come into the London office in the morning, and I will make sure that as people come in, they will message somebody in Hong Kong straight away and say, what's the weather like? How's your sporting team faring? What did you have for lunch? And you do have to encourage and facilitate communication, especially with, as Jason was saying, the rather brash American when compared to having an even more or less confident American, but certainly more vocal European to a rather quieter inhabitants of China and Hong Kong. You have to balance that. And as far as regards to communication with our partners and customers within these regions, one just has to get a great understanding of different kind of culture. And so we spent a lot of time in South Korea with the handset manufacturers there, and actually there's a lot of mobile office companies in South Korea for some reason. And in these organizations, when you speak to them, for Samsung, for instance, you have a meeting, middle layer, the information is extracted from you, you present a case or whatever, and the information goes up. And then you have another meeting, and it goes up a layer, and it goes up and up and up. And you never really receive feedback, but the information flow is going up to the top. And eventually, in our case, it goes to the CEO, and the CEO will make a decision and then you hear about it. And this is sort of different within sort of more Western organizations where it's much more collaborative. You will hear feedback throughout. So internally within the company, it's a matter of using the tools, enforcing that communication, and with regards to externally with businesses and partners and customers, it's a matter of understanding culture.
Thank you. So we were talking a bit last night about your fundraising journey. This is obviously a live discussion right now. But when your experience of dealing with investors or going out to raise funds, however you've done that, have you found that being in Asia and having an Asia presence has been well received?
So we actually originally, so both my co-founders are of Chinese origin. One was born there, the other one lives there, and his wife was born in Hong Kong. And so being at Morgan Stanley, we're used to working, offshoring one's engineering to India and Canada and Eastern Europe and so on and so forth. And we started off in Hong Kong. We thought we'd give it a go. We had very low expectations, actually. We thought culture would be a challenge. No mother wants their child to work for a startup in Hong Kong. They want them to work for a rather more stable blue chip organization. Challenge there. Language challenge and technical, didn't think they were necessarily capable. Wrong. And as I said, it was pretty much the best decision we made as a company. So as a result of the success that we had in establishing this beachhead there with our engineering talent, we actually wanted to incorporate that. We took a debt round for our first round, and so when it came to actually take on investment, pricing the company, we actually wanted to do so in Hong Kong. It was tricky. The legal fees were astronomical when compared to the West, and the financial vehicle didn't really exist in the manner that we wanted to, especially taking Western investment as we did, or investment from America. So reluctantly, we actually incorporated in Delaware and took on some took seed round a couple of years ago there, and there has continually been, so one of our investors, we have 3 large investors. We took a Series A round in September 2011, and we raised 11 million in that, and that comprised of Comcast and Qualcomm and Google Ventures. And Google Ventures and is easy here. Okay, good. Google Ventures only invest in North America, and so the fact that out of 75 people, half of our company is actually in Asia, in Hong Kong, is interesting and potentially presented a problem. But I remember I was saying this as a side story, but I was saying Rebecca, and she rather enjoyed this, that there we were in Hong Kong, there were 6 of us right at the very beginning. We had our first call with Rich Miner, who of course is the founder of Android, co-founder, and one of the partners of Google Ventures. First call with him, we were so excited. We were about 6 months in, we thought, this is it, we're around telephone, we're going to be bought, this is an Apple hire, this was easy. I don't know what the fuss is all about. And it was a half-an-hour phone call, and it still remains the single harshest phone call we had at a company that ripped us apart. Don't fork the operating system, don't do this, go for this business model. And then 6 months later, we went back to him and we said, look, we did as you asked, we've done this. He goes, oh, you've gone too far. Go back and do this. So we took his advice and we did that. And then 6 months later, we presented to him and he goes, right, fine, you're listening. We like that, we're in. And they invested. Somewhat waffled, but it was challenging in terms of having, or trying to incorporate Hong Kong. I wish it was easier, but we therefore chose to do America. We had a board meeting in Hong Kong the other day, and we were honoured that the American investors came out. Unfortunately, Google couldn't, and quite simply because of this rebate on their particular investment.
So did it significantly change the culture of the company?
Where we took on? No, it hasn't. And I think that, I'm a first-time founder, so I can't speak from too much experience here, but at the moment we've been very fortunate with the company, and so therefore our board meetings they have not become negative. And I should imagine that when a company hits challenging times, that can change. So at the moment, no, in the enterprise mobility space, it's quite a proprietary skill set. In many respects, you have to have worked within a large enterprise to understand it, and therefore we maintain that particular...
Very corporate.
Yeah.